dad, as in me, is northern. Oh well, I'll do like 1 minute. Let me get another lager, and then I'll do a proper intro so that we don't waste cracking banter. Is that your singular lager?
It's port.
Port, eh? It gets weirder and weirder, doesn't it? We'll get into that in a minute. So let me do like my bit. You know, the good bit.
Until I speak.
The bit where I say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Pints podcast. I am Chris, the sexy Jesus, visionary leader of the podcast, and I'm joined by Gil, a man who has done more to halt the developing brain than the Zika virus. How are you doing, Gil? Are you right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. Just moseying on with life.
Anything interesting happened to you lately?
No, not really. Nothing that interesting happens to me to begin with.
Well, listeners, nothing interesting happens to Gil, but he still can't find a time to record, can you?
Very busy person.
I know, this is like the second one of, like, this is the first recording we've done all year. We got lucky because obviously the Christmas show went out in the middle of January. I sense this is going to become a thing forever now.
Yeah, until we get paid for it.
What do you mean until we get paid for it? Nobody's going to pay for this.
Well, this shit, it's gold.
You're not going to get paid in gold. Just because the Japanese economy's on its ass doesn't mean you've got to start resorting to gold.
I'm going to start my own business, I've decided.
Are you doing what? Turning up to parties and making people seem cooler than they are? Just with your mere presence. That's what I use you for.
I'll have you know, I impressed somebody very much a year, about 18 months ago. I was at a student party.
The sole example you can think of was 18 months ago.
I was at a student party, started talking to some bird about Stalin, and then she ended up getting off with Naz.
Hang on, what? Someone started talking about Stalin, and then thought, well, you know, life can't get any worse than this, so thought that was an opportunity to get off with Naz.
Yeah, and then I got fucking AIDS over it.
You got AIDS?
Yeah, I think he got some disease off her.
He did?
No, he got a cold anyway, and I caught it.
Oh, I thought this was like VD or something. I thought this was like...
No, it's just 1D.
Oh, I love them guys, them lads. Harry's my favourite, then Niall, and then Zane, and then the other two's names I forget.
Oh, that's One Direction, isn't it?
Yeah, 1D, get with it.
Well, I meant 1D as in the nickname for Naz, because he's so one-dimensional.
Yes, and that Sol D stands for dense. I bet he don't even listen to this, does he?
No.
No, because do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get any win bonuses or extra lives by listening to it, so he's not interested.
Hayden does, but that's
Who the
it.
fuck is Hayden?
One of the Kinky Crew.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say hello to the Kinky Crew. I'm sure they're alright.
Occupy my evening sometimes.
Do you hang around with them then?
Yeah.
Does that mean that you are in the Kinky Crew?
I'm not in the Kinky Crew. I created
You
the name.
created the Kinky Crew.
And now I've been...
You are the Kinky Crew. You're the tough Bretts.
I'm the muscle. I'm the Dave Bautista from Spectre.
Oh, I watched that again the other day.
What was it like on second viewing?
All right, because I watched it because it's the first time I watched it with people. The first time, obviously, I went on my own, so I didn't get interrupted, so my genius flow wasn't encumbered in any way. But it was like I watched it with the good lady Erin Dawes, mum and dad, and I got it because it's available on an online source of films that isn't entirely kosher. It's probably the best way I can put it.
I understand.
So yeah, but you know, we watched it and everyone enjoyed it. I think everyone sort of like said the same thing as we did. Like, you know, it's probably like your man Craig's best Bond film that he's done.
Yeah, he seems to have gotten into the role a bit more now.
Yeah, I watched it in a different way as well, because obviously like last time when I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, we're going to do a podcast on this. So like, I was watching it with that sort of like an analytical eye on it all the time, you know? But like this one, I just tried to enjoy it for what it was. And it struck me that it was like, this is a Bond film that you can watch at Christmas, fucking when you're half cut. Because that's what it's going to be, isn't it? Like next Christmas, that's just what ITV are going to show.
Something to fall asleep in front of.
But this is it, it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, at least you're falling asleep because it's a Bond film on telly and you're not falling asleep because it's...
Because it's a Queen's speech.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like... What's it? Skyfall.
Yeah, well, I would watch that. Excuse me.
Gil's yawning because he insisted upon recording this late at night, whereas I wanted to do it early evening. Because this is what always happens. We've never done one before fucking like 10 o'clock or something. So like, because we're old and shit and both drinking and can't handle it anymore, despite what we'd like to project to the young people we hang around with, like, not in a weird way, we just sort of happen to be in many of the same places, obviously. But like, yeah, like, we just can't do it. We can't stay awake.
I was talking to somebody the other day about the benefits of going to bed at 9 o'clock.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is. It's bloody lovely. And you wake up at about 7 in the morning, refreshed.
No, I don't go out that early. I was going to say, I wake up at about 9 again. I get my full 12 hours in. You've got to find time to get your 12 hours. That's what Thatcher said, wasn't it? Oh, no, she was like a robot, so she got it in like 3.
And that's probably why she died at 80 odd.
Yeah, what a glorious day that was, wasn't it?
I remember that day very well. I wore black for a week.
You wore black for a week?
Yeah.
She wouldn't have liked that. She hated the blacks.
It's South African.
Well, them files will be released at some point. We'll see what her little note said. Her little notes to Norm. Speaking of Norm, and speaking of going to bed at 9 o'clock, that's basically what I've been doing. I texted you that picture, didn't I, where I went in town. The problem is with being a student, they give you a load of money, periodically. And because, like, I live in a situation where I don't really... Well, I'm not going to go into my financial situation or whatever, but I had loads left over, so I bought both the Frasier and the Cheers box set.
Oh, you did send me that picture.
And, like, they're bigger than your fucking head. They're massive. Because we were most of the way through Frasier anyway, like, watching it on Channel 4. Like, I've just been going to bed really early and, like, thinking, this will be good. I'll watch a couple of episodes of Frasier and get an early night. And staying up to about 1 in the morning while I clear the next series sort of thing. It's been really good.
Have you seen them all yet, or not?
I am in series 9, just got into it.
That's not...
I've literally just watched the one where they all dress up on Halloween. And Niles dresses up.
Oh, is that the one where they have to be their hero or something?
Yeah, and it's superb.
That's the only decent episode of that series, I think. Because I don't particularly like series 9 and 10. I think it goes off the boil.
Is it because of the Niles and Daphne thing? Because that has been concerning me. Because obviously, like...
Series 11's good. It's a nice way to end it, but I won't spoil anything for you if you haven't seen it, but...
No, because we'll talk about endings later on, I think, like in the email part of the show. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have an email. I know, Gil's just slapped his cheeks. He looks like Macaulay Culkin out of Home Alone when he's doing that shaving bit.
What thing?
You don't see Home Alone where he does the shaving and he puts on aftershave and for some reason his face. Like, why his face wasn't cut to ribbons anyway, I don't know. But like, that was what I based all of my shaving on. So when my mum was like, I'd go to a school disco, my mum was like, oh, do you want to put on some of your dad's aftershave? I was like, no, fuck off. That'll burn. That shit's acid.
Is that why you haven't had a shave in 2 years?
It's more than 2, and yes. I learned all of my life skills from Home Alone. Nobody's been able to get in my house for 3 years.
Especially Joe Pesci.
Yeah, if Joe Pesci and that other guy turns up, they're going to get it, filthy animals.
Start dropping bowling balls on their head and setting fire to their hats.
Yeah, should we be talking about this? Because this will probably be like next mid-January's episode, like greatest Christmas movies of all time.
Well, there's only one winner, but you have to wait, listeners.
We'll call it like the even later Christmas show. Maybe it'll come out sometime by June 2017, who knows?
If they're lucky.
Excellent. Should we crack on? Should we get on with some bits? I've got stuff planned for this time as well. I'm going to try a new thing. It's called news. Yeah, news. I've just like gathered various items from around the web. I sent you a couple earlier on. Did you watch them?
I saw that you sent me a music video for something.
Yeah, I know. You didn't fucking watch it, did you? That was really important to this news item. Now it's ruined. I'll probably put in a theme tune now. This is some news.
News now for you.
There it was. Alright, let's leave that.
What's up?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, isn't it, podcasting? I can leave that blank and nobody would be the wiser. Like that time when I said that I was going to put jingle bells in or whatever. Didn't bother. Nice.
Short-changing our customers.
Exactly.
Like university.
Shut up, you're ruining the news. Right, this is important. Okay, news item number 1. Have you heard or seen that Dad's Army movie?
I've heard, but not seen and not interested in watching it.
Yeah, me neither. It was doing quite well. I think it was like number 2 in the box office of the UK.
Is it falling out the top 10 now or something?
I don't know. I've not checked this week, to be honest with you. I only saw it sort of like last week. I saw it like a news headline. It caught me interest because we were talking about it in like less than glowing terms. I sort of wondered like, if it was any good. Like, well, you know, it must be because it was getting to number 2. And then I looked at the reviews, and everyone was saying the same thing. Like, this is fucking shit. It's like every like rehash of a sitcom ever.
It was done so well the first time, and I imagine the reason it would shoot up, and I suspect it'll probably shoot back down again, is because the people who might have given it a chance have already gone to see it. And if they think it's shit, they're not going to fork out another 7-8 quid to go to the cinema and watch it again.
Yeah, well, I think that they released it at quite a good time. This is just me reading into it, you know, like contextual knowledge and that. Like, this week, across the country, it's half term. So all the kids will be home. So I was just sort of thinking maybe loads of fucking old people went to see it last week on the proviso that, like, they wouldn't be able to go this week because it'd be full of kids or something. So that's why it did so well.
Yeah, maybe, actually.
It's a real long shot, obviously.
I can't imagine many 6-year-olds are going to be interested in Bill Nye impersonating... Is it Wilson he plays?
Yeah.
Something like that.
But like, this is it. Like, you know, everything that I've read about it, like, I've got no interest in seeing it. And to be honest with you, it'll be on, like, again, like, it'll be on next Christmas on fucking Channel 4 or some shit, right? And I'll think about watching it and tape it. I say tape, I mean record it onto that Sky Plus box thing. Other TV digital recordings are available, but
It's no longer 97.
but like, I'll never watch it. It'll be on there for months. So, but like, I mean, everyone said the impersonations are quite good. Like, the actors that are in the parts have nailed it in terms of who they're meant to be playing. But, and this is the thing that I found weird, a lot of the things that I read about it said that, like, it's like they've taken a half-hour episode and stretched it out, which is always the criticism. Do you remember, like, all them films, like, in the 70s where they did, like, On the Buses Go on Holiday and things like that? And they did an Are You Being... Yeah, and Are You Being Served one. They always go on holiday, don't they? And it was sort of like, they always say, well, it would have worked in a half-hour episode, but stretched out to a 2-hour format, it doesn't really work. And, like, that's exactly what they're saying. It seems weird to me, it's sort of like, you've not got a fucking... I mean, I know it's based on a TV show, but you've not got that sort of, like, these are actors that are used to doing it and turning up and doing their day's work and going home and then the episode gets edited together. Like, how have they fucked it up so badly?
The match, if where there's a will, there's a way, I guess.
This is true. So, top tip of the week, avoid Dad's Army like the plague, the war, bloody war.
Don't mention the war.
Exactly. Second...
Have you seen that Fawlty Towers advert?
Ah, yes. I hate it.
I mean, I haven't seen it on telly, but I heard about it and I thought I'd just watch it on YouTube just to see. It's fucking dog shit.
Weirdly, that's how I saw it as well. In fact, I saw the making of first. It was like, they were saying that, you know, John Cleese returns to Fawlty Towers for the first time in like 30 years. And I was like, this is going to be fucking amazing. And it wasn't. It was just John Cleese going, nobody ever came up to me with a good idea until this thing. And like, it made me think, like, how shit were the fucking ideas people were turning up with before that fucking advert.
Oh yeah, because he said that everything else started with Basil angry, but if you watch the series, Basil doesn't start out angry, he gets angry or something like that, wasn't it?
See, I don't buy that. I mean, I know that it's like this weird thing where like you argue with the creator, like J.K. Rowling saying it's alright for Hermione to be black, which Thatcher knows it isn't. We think it's fine, or don't care. We'll probably talk about Harry Potter a bit in a minute. But Basil Fawlty is perpetually angry.
Yeah, it's just part of his gimmick.
Yeah, like he is a man seething. He's always bubbling under the surface, isn't he? Surface?
Yeah, it's a bit like Triple H. He always needs to be the champion.
Well, stop spoiling the news. The next news item is this. Radiohead's Spectre tune. Did you listen to it? Have you heard it at all?
Yes.
You haven't, have you?
No. I started to watch it, but then Kinks asked me if I wanted to go for a cigarette, and so I went back for a cigarette, and then started reading more about Gulag systems.
That's fair enough. You know, you've got to stick with what you like, haven't you?
Exactly.
So, alright, well, fine. We'll have to skip that Radiohead bit. Let's move on to the wrestling then. 1. Triple H. Sorry, listeners, Gil is fucking around with drinks and like dropping lighters. He set himself up with a little desk this week, which is weird. Normally he's sort of crouched over it like an old crone on his lap. It's weird. But like now he's got a desk, he's next to a window, which I assume that he's not going to be smoking out of. He's got a 1.25 litre bottle of Coke that he's flicking the ends of his fag into. And like tilting his head back like Tony Scarface Montana, just blowing smoke freely into the night. It's a horrendous image. It's of a man with too much privilege.
I've only had some poor people to stuff my fag out on.
Well, anyway, wrestling news. A man called Triple H, which isn't his real name, is Paul, held a big long tournament so that he could be the king again. In fairness, they've got a load of injuries, but like they had this really contrived thing, and now a man who was probably 50 or something is the champion of a company that markets itself mostly to people under the age of 10. What do you think of that, Gil?
I know I hang around with most of those people, so
That's true. You are always in the playgrounds with your fingers on the pulses.
nah, it's always going to happen, wasn't it? When I used to watch it, it was always him as the champion. It's always going to be him as a champion until he did a little wheelchair.
Yeah, he's fucking Vern Gagne in it, isn't he?
Who?
AWA guy. Look it up. There's a good documentary on the network if you keep bothering to get it again.
I will one day. I see you own a CM Punk t-shirt.
I am actually, yes. It's purely coincidental. It was just the first thing on top of the pile.
Obviously.
CM Punk, that is more wrestling news.
Well, your mate's is the champion. He's Continental champion, isn't he? Kevin Owens.
He is, yeah. He literally won it back last night on Raw.
Yeah, I was talking to Kinks today about wrestling. I thought I'd have a quick look to what happened on Raw last night, and I saw it.
It's building up steam. It's that sort of like the Royal Rumble's just happened, WrestleMania's on the go. So if anyone is listening, they're not particularly interested in wrestling but would like to have a look at it, now's probably the time. Because like, for some reason, they can only make storylines and like people's hatred of each other make sense between the months of like February and April. But it always happens. It's just like their thing, isn't it? But like, yeah, like it's looking quite good. Like, but also the big news from the Royal Rumble is AJ Styles, a man who has been like just everywhere else but the WWE, finally made his debut.
The phenomenal one or something, isn't he?
He is absolutely that. Did you ever think that sort of thing would happen? Like, just him of just TNA and indie fame is now. It's weird.
Well, it's always going to happen one day, isn't it? It's a big payday.
It's very, very odd, but there's more to come. Like, the two lads that are in New Japan in the Bullet Club with him, they're going to debut soon. Carl Anderson, that'll be good. And the best one of all is your man Shinsuke Nakamura, who's going to debut in NXT pretty soon.
Not Kazuki Nakajima then.
Not Kazuki Nakajima, but it is going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be amazing. Also, Partridge is back.
Is he?
Yep, new series, Mid Morning Matters. It was on earlier on this evening, so probably by the time people hear this, the whole fucking series would have aired.
Perhaps you need to speed up with your editing.
Are we a bit over Partridge by now?
I haven't really thought about it for a long time. Watched the film, read the book.
What did you think of them?
Book was good. Film I wasn't massively impressed with. It's a bit like going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, of course we did.
It's 70s films. Obviously, you can put it into a half-hour, 25-minute, 30-minute slot. Effectively, that film, you can cut out a lot of the shit that goes along with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think we sort of briefly discussed it on the last one when we were saying that he became a little bit too sympathetic, like how Brent did in that Christmas episode. I don't know whether I left that bit in actually, but yeah, like in what's it called, Alpha Papa. He's the hero of the piece. Everyone else is a shit, which like I don't ever think should happen with Alan Partridge.
No, I think we talked about this with David Brent actually.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, like you know, like when they sort of like they become the centre and the person that like you're rooting for, like the magic's lost because they're doing that Brent film as well, which I'm really worried about.
An office? No.
It's not even like an office. You know, like do you recall maybe last year, maybe the year before, Gervais done a number of tours in character as David Brent. It started off where he was given guitar lessons on YouTube.
Was it?
Yeah, loads of fucking idiot like Yanks were commenting. Saying like, this guy's the worst guitar tuner I've ever seen, man. Like, thinking it was like real, the daft buggers. But like, yeah, then like he went on tour, did like a stadium, not a stadium tour, like a venue tour or something with David Brent. That he's building a movie about that, like a documentary about following him, and he's like sort of trying to bounce back, I guess, in context.
Is that because he's actually done nothing else of any notes since 2003?
Would Extras have been before 2000? Because Extras was alright.
No, I wasn't a big fan of it.
It was okay. Like, I mean, it was like a little bit like him spending 3/4 of an hour each week going, look at all my celebrity mates.
Go in, look at me, I can drop my beer.
Shut up, Gil. It's late. I wanted to do this 3 hours ago. Bollocks. Oh no, it's alright. I've got napkins here. It'll be fine. This is live podcasting. This can't happen.
It'll be alright in the night, as Dennis Norden used to say.
Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore, does he?
Is he still going?
I think he's still alive, which is good because that's the theme of this week's podcast. We'll end the news now. Here's the end of the news theme. This is some news.
News now for you.
Right, that was the end of the news theme. Welcome back. Back to the main body of the show. Some lads have died lately, Gil.
Oh, who?
Well, loads of them, really. Probably too many to name, and I don't know them all personally. But in the public eye, your man Lemmy at a Motorhead died before Christmas.
No, he died out on Boxing Day, didn't he?
Ish. I could probably look it up, but I won't. Then your man, who died first? Rickman died.
I forgot about him, yeah.
Then Bowie. I know it was Bowie, then Rickman. It was like days. Bowie, then Rickman, and then Terry Wogan.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, he died as well, didn't he?
And more recently, Boutros Ghali.
And Axel Rotten.
Oh yeah, Axel Rotten's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's really weird. This is like, it's a total repeat of 2014 when like within like the space of months, Rick Mayall, Robin Williams, Joan Rivers, and the Ultimate Warrior all died. Like people of cultural significance and a wrestler. That's him. That's the one. That is Joan Rivers. So, what we'll do is we'll start it with a customary game that we never bothered editing in. I say we, I mean me, in the last one. What are your top 5 Alan Rickman movies?
Die Hard's number 1.
Die Hard's not number 1.
It is.
It can't be number 1 because he was also in Love Actually.
I've never seen Love Actually.
Well, you're missing out. It won an Oscar.
Kinky always tells me to watch it. I think it's one of his favourite films. I've seen bits. I've seen a lot of it. I've never seen it all.
It's not as good as like Notting Hill and Four Weddings and a Funeral, but it's decent.
Richard Curtis, isn't it?
It is Richard Curtis, which is why I referenced those 2 other films by Richard Curtis.
Oh, yeah, of course. What other films has he been in?
He was in...
He's in Robin Hood.
He is in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
The Harry Potter films.
I hate that Robin Hood film, though, personally.
It's all right. I used to really like it as a young'un, but...
It's never done anything for me. He was in, all the Harry Potter films, and bloody good in them.
He was. Severus Snappy.
Have you read any of them books since?
No.
Like, if you read them, it's really hard not to picture the actors. And in most cases, that's annoying because, like, you know, trying to enjoy those books whilst thinking of Rupert Grint and Daniel What's-His-Face, like, it's no fun at all.
No, I can imagine. I did watch that, that Saxon series from Bernard Cornwell. They broadcast it, I think, before Christmas.
The what?
They called Last Kingdom.
No, I've not seen it.
I watched that, but I've read up to I'm reading The Pagan Lord at the moment, actually.
Uh-huh.
So I actually thought I was worried. I thought, oh shit, I hope I don't think of that fucking half-wit as the main character. But the image I had in my head was a lot better. So I've actually, thankfully, whenever I read it, I do still think of him as opposed to some dweeby little actor with a bit of bum fluff.
Yeah, this does happen a lot though these days, doesn't it? Like there's a decent enough book, immediately it's turned into a film because nobody writes original scripts anymore apparently, and like you're just stuck with the image. It's like, what was that one called? I'm pausing because I'm trying to think of it. Like Tom Cruise was in it recently. I think it might have been, was it Jack Reacher? It was a recent film with Tom Cruise playing the lead role, but like in the book apparently the guy's specifically described as a tall, striking blonde man, which, as we know, is like Tom Cruise is a dark midget.
Jumping around on sofas.
I know. I really want to do a whole episode on Tom Cruise and his career. I just think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
We could spend a month researching like Tom Cruise and his various like films and maladies. And that time he joined a cult. Not really Scientologists, we're only joking, please don't kill us.
They've probably put voodoo on us first.
He doesn't know what voodoo is.
No.
He probably played somebody that done voodoo in a movie once. I suspect that's like what Tom Cruise is really like. You know, they get like people have that image of actors where like, well, I played somebody in a movie. Like, I think Tom Cruise probably thinks he can fly a plane.
Yeah. Or he's a fat, bald director.
Yeah, like you just get the feeling with him. Like, because I do it. I'm really guilty of this myself. Like, I'll see a film and then I'll base my entire life on what I've just seen. Like, if I watched a film about a fireman, immediately the next day I start researching how to become a fireman. Like, if I see a film about a doctor, I start considering medical school. But, like, it never goes any further than that because I've not got, like, a number of yes men telling me how great I am all the time.
Yeah, you just got yourself for that.
This is true.
You more than make up for it.
Of all the yes men, I'm the best. And I agree with that statement.
Oh, yes, Chris.
Wonderful. Hey, listen to this. What do you think about Hermione being cast as a Blackbird?
For what?
Have you not seen this whole fallout?
No.
Alright, well, basically, they're doing a play in London. Rowling's written it, she's involved, and it's called something like The Magic Child, or something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's Harry Potter and the Magic Child, let's call it that. And they've cast the 3 roles, Harry, Ron and Hermione, but Hermione is a black lady. And obviously, as a result, the internet lost their shit.
Right, I don't see the problem.
No, me neither. This was it. It was like, this is exactly the reaction that a normal human should have. Like, you kill every man. Sorry, I'll beep out your first name, obviously. But, you know, why people wouldn't want to hear Judas, I don't know. Like, yeah.
TSCSS.
Absolutely. I'm coughing all over the place. I don't know why. I'm really ill. I think I might have cancer.
You need to stop smoking.
Yeah, well, you know, I won't leave that in because that's my mum will find out. It's not true, mum or girlfriend. This is like the second time in like 2 weeks I've got drunk, just on my own.
I should do it all the time.
I know, but you're a student, aren't you? Oh yeah. But like, yeah, so it was like I was waiting around. I was thinking, oh, it's all right, Gil will be here later. And I had about 6-7 lagers by the time you were like, oh, I can't make it. I was like, well, I'll have a couple more. Sort of like woke up feeling like, oh my god. Oh, that's it. Where were we? Oh yeah. So like, yeah, the thing with that Hermione being cast as a black woman was like, you know, like on the internet you get like backlash and then backlash against the backlash, and then it spirals until everyone's really smug and satisfied they've got their opinion out there.
Yeah.
It was that sort of thing where like, like the first one was people finding quotes within the Harry Potter books, because Rowling immediately comes out and goes like, I never actually said what colour she is. And then they were finding specific excerpts in it.
Yeah, excerpts.
Whatever. No one cares. Like in them books, which are for nerds. Like,
I've seen them on your bookshelf. What's recording this podcast?
We've got 2 copies of each. So yeah, like they were finding like excerpts like of text like that proved that Hermione was written as a white girl. And then like you got those people, and you know, like, and we've all met them, and I think that we went to college with a number of them. People that are like so desperate to prove that they're not a racist, they'll say anything to try and like, you know, stopping short of saying, "Oh, I've got black friends."
Yeah.
So like it was like, you know, I kept giving up all these arguments, and it was basically like, if you're that bothered by what a racist says about this play, that's great, that's good. You're a normal functioning human. If they're saying it on Twitter, just ignore them. If they're saying it in the theatre while this actress is doing her work, then say something.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, it doesn't matter. No one really cares. Like, it's a fucking play. Like, it's not like a film that's going to be down on camera for all time.
No, there'll probably be some amateur footage of it on YouTube, but that'll be about it. And maybe a couple of reviews in the paper.
Well, even if that, do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to be like old news. Eventually, all of them films will be rebooted.
Yeah, probably. When J.K. Rowling's down to her last billion.
Although they are making another film. Have you seen this as well?
I'd say they've written another book.
I think the book is of the play.
Oh, okay. It's set 20 years after the film or something, isn't it?
Yes, yes, but there's also a new film coming out, which is like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh, that was written a couple of years ago. That was the Myths and Legends, wasn't it? In Muggle World, not Mug. What's it called again?
No idea what you're talking about.
Hogwarts.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Like it's one of the like it's based on like a textbook that's mentioned in a film, but now they're making a film about that, which leads me to think that they're not selling enough tickets to that Harry Potter world place.
Well, Kinky's been a couple of million times, so
It's been more than once.
I actually don't know. To be fair, I know he's been, but I don't know. I don't know if he's been more than once.
What a little prick. I bet he has been more than once.
He's probably got his own ride there.
Not even his own ride. I bet he's got like a season pass, and I bet he pays for what, like when you go places and there's like a brick, you can buy a brick and have it engraved. They love it outside football grounds at the minute. I bet he's got a brick that's been engraved in Diagon Alley or something.
No, he's got a prick that's been engraved in Diagon.
Well, only by the teeth of another man. No, I can't leave that in now. It makes me sound homophobic.
All the shit you leave in the ice, though.
Yeah, but people expect it from you. That's your character.
Alf Garnett.
Alf Gilnett.
Very good.
Thank you. So yeah, like all kicking off about Harry Potter, but Alan Rickman was in him. He's one of them films better than all the rest.
I'd still say Die Hard's number one because it's my favourite Christmas and action film.
Oh, I hate that cliche. It's like it's a total hipster thing, isn't it? Like since people realised that Die Hard was set at Christmas, like Die Hard it's not the best Christmas film. Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, is the best Christmas film.
Oh, I've never seen it, so I'm still going to go Die Hard.
You should. It's got Phil Hartman in it.
Who? Oh yeah, he was shot, didn't he, by his missus?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like he's in it, and he's good in it.
Does he say it turned? No, because he also plays the actor bloke.
Troy McClure.
Troy McClure, that's it.
Do you know what? Speaking of, again, this is off track. We've not even got past the top 5 yet. There was a really good video released online this week, and I'll put it in the blog, where somebody had edited side by side all of the best like Simpsons film references and stuff, and it's fucking class. And it also all it does though is just make you pine for a time when the Simpsons wasn't complete dog shit.
I talked about this to someone at work the other day, and they were saying that he's watching some of the newer series, and some have actually made him laugh out loud. I've not seen any, so I just avoid them like the plague.
He's either lying or he's a simpleton.
Oh, I think it's the latter, to be honest.
Because I've seen some of them new ones, and they're fucking wank.
I stopped watching it about 10 years, well, not that long ago. But about 4 or 5 years ago.
There is a theory of, people that care about these sorts of things, which we might or might not be some of them, like where they say that The Simpsons took a dive after Phil Hartman was killed.
Yeah, I always think when they killed off Maud Flanders, it started to go downhill a bit.
Maybe. I remember one in particular when I was a kid and I watched it live, and it was like when they went to Las Vegas. Homer and Flanders went to Las Vegas, and like it should have been good, but like I was at that sort of age where I was just becoming a teenager and like just becoming sort of like aware of there being more to it, if you know what I mean, like the subtext, the context and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but then when you go back and watch the earlier ones, you've got that perspective on it as well. But it's still good.
This is where I'm going with it. It's sort of like when I watch them early ones now, every time I rewatch it, I find something new in it. Like ever since, like, do you know what I mean? Like if I've watched, say, like Citizen Kane, since then. When I was a kid, obviously I hadn't seen Citizen Kane because it's boring as fuck, and I wish I hadn't as an adult. But like, you get the numerous references to that. Do you know what I mean? When you watch like Planet of the Apes and recognise that they've done it a million times, like that's like. It's that sort of thing, isn't it? Like when they do A Streetcar Named Marge, like which is incredible. But like you don't get it unless you've seen 3 or 4 different sort of versions of that, like social, like context, like everything going on. But like yeah, like you watch them now, and it just seems like they've got like that format of like Homer needs to return something to the mole, in which they like meet somebody who is voiced by a celebrity or may well be the celebrity. And like then a wacky adventure ensues, and it's the same thing every week. Whereas like the early ones seem to me to be about like a family.
Yeah, there's more of a storyline basis surrounding it.
Yeah, it was like a sitcom.
Around that, mainly the jokes revolved around Homer and Bart, and they'd obviously had the characters, Mr. Burns or Ned, others, Otto.
Do you think that was like when they started introducing backstory to like the other characters? That's when it started becoming shit.
No, because if you look at Mr. Burns' backstory, when he almost drowned after Smithers puts a sponge on his top hat in the bath, there's some great backstory there. Or where they have that bloke beaten to death because he's got 3 atoms in his pocket. And we'll go too far.
Oh.
Well, the episode does have that great Homer line. So I got this in a strike of 84. What do we want? Whatever it is. When you want it now. What do you want? Whatever it is. When you want it now. Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito?
Do you think that as a result of this conversation, the next episode that we do should be animated series, the best ones of all time?
Yeah. Does that include Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, do you know what I'll say it would? Because Tom and Jerry is just Laurel and Hardy.
Tom and Jerry's fucking brilliant. I was watching Tom and Jerry the other day, actually.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do that then. Like, the best animated comedies of all time, and we'll include, like, even Looney Tunes at a passing. Because there's so many to choose from, even some of the more, like, modern ones. Like, I don't know whether you've ever seen, like, Bob's Burgers or Rick and Morty.
No, I've heard of it. I've heard of Bob's Burgers, but I've never seen it.
It's decent. It's good.
That means I can start talking about Top Cat.
Yeah, I like that idea because Top Cat is just Sergeant Bilko, isn't he?
And Sergeant Bilko is brilliant.
Yeah, Phil Silvers.
Who was not Ernie Wise, Eric Morecambe, who was Vic Reeves.
Yeah, well, that'll also bring me to the question that we may or may not answer in that episode. Why isn't there a decent British animated comedy?
I'll think about that.
There's something to work on. And anyway, the best Harry Potter film of the lot is Prisoner of Azkaban.
Best book?
It's the best film as well, by far.
No, I quite enjoyed the last one. I can't really remember Azkaban that well. I've seen it twice, which is more than the others.
The last one was alright, but like, I found it really hard to give a shit when the elf died, and I think that was meant to be like the big set piece.
I hated that fucking elf.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I didn't like him. I thought he was a dick.
Dobby.
It's like, if he was your slave, right, we're not trying to justify slavery, but like, you'd campaign for the abolishment of slavery, wouldn't you? Fucking, just to get rid of that prick.
You're not going to start quoting Ben Carson then.
No.
Obamacare, the worst thing to happen since slavery. And then before he starts quoting, or misquoting, Joseph Stalin.
Oh, those guys. Those Americans with their hatred of healthcare, which is for free. Like, you know, sorry. You know, every fucking episode. You know, Gil is a staunch Tory, which in, like, for those of, like, that are listening in other countries, is a bastard.
Well, all those in America are Democrats.
Either party, really. So, like, you know, you're not overly fussed about, like, poor people being helped and stuff, like, with their healthcare. But, like, the way that Americans take it, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Like, just get over it. It's fine. Like, if you would, like, rather than just paying insurance, you just pay a little bit extra on your tax. You don't even have to worry about keeping up the repayments. It comes out every month. It's honestly the simplest fucking thing. I don't know why people don't do it more often. It's the easiest fucking thing to work out in the world.
Well, I know, but you are giving simple mathematical equations to a country that wear baseball caps as formal wear.
This is true, and I am also speaking from the point of view as a person who in the last 3 years has broken an ankle and dislocated shoulders twice. Like, I get injured at the drop of a hat. Like, that drop of a hat caused a serious neck aneurysm. Doesn't know what that is. Yeah, like, my arch is dropped.
Got bed sores now.
Oh, it was the worst day of my life.
Oh, that was... Oh, no,
Thank God the NHS was there to cure it all. With prescription neck braces and shoes. Let's try and get back to the top 5 Alan Rickman films. Shall I just list some films that he's been in that I love?
Yeah, go on then.
1. Galaxy Quest. 2. Love Actually. 3. Die Hard. 4. Sense and Sensibility. 5. All the Harry Potter ones. Robin Hood.
You're just going to amalgamate them all.
No, I wouldn't want to amalgamate him because it would take away from his performances in all of them, which were decent.
Yeah.
Bloody good he was as an actor, wasn't he?
Made those films. I like Michael Gambon in them, but I think Harry's just fucking drip.
I don't like Gambon in them, personally.
No, I thought he was quite good. I can't imagine Richard Harris in some of those later ones because he was just a bit too feeble.
Yeah, but that's only because he was old as fuck. I think it was miscast. I always think that, you know, McKellen was Gandalf.
Yeah.
He probably would have been better as Dumbledore than them two combined.
Yeah, probably actually.
Gambon always came across like he wanted to violently rape Harry.
Is he the one that said no? Dumbledore. Is it Dumbledore, the Gandalf, the one that says "You shall not pass"?
That's Gandalf. Gandalf. Oh, he's a lovely Gandalf. Do you want to go down the old people's home to see Gandalf? He's alright, isn't he? Sorry, I've had a few too many and it's really, really late. I've been drinking since 8:30, which was the time that Gil was meant to show up.
Yeah, it was actually.
I know. It's now fucking like 12 o'clock, so what's that I've been drinking for? I can't even do maths no more. 3.5 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly. Can do maths. That's shown you, isn't it? Of all them ones, I think Sense and Sensibility is actually probably the best film. It's better than Die Hard, isn't it? You seen that?
Nope.
Brilliant. Jane Austen adaptation. Hugh Grant's in it. He's been charming as fuck. He gets off with Kate Winslet.
Might check that out then.
Yeah, it's good. You don't ever see any getting off, because obviously it's like Jane Austen in that, so there's no tits in it. Not like that film Jude, which is based off a Thomas Hardy novel called Jude the Obtuse, and it's got Christopher Eccleston in it. And I came in from the pub, because I used to go to this pub every Monday night because there was a quiz on, right? And I love a quiz, don't you?
Yeah, bloody brilliant.
Yeah, we went to a quiz that one time, and we did our usual, where for the first 3 or 4 rounds, we do spectacularly because we're geniuses. And then by the last one, we're too pissed and get none of them right, which takes our average score down to about 50%. Have you seen Galaxy Quest, by the way? Sorry, just to keep things on subject.
No, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Huh. Oh well. Let's skip the Rickman then. Let's just, say, we've talked about all them Rickman films. They're all equally good. To make a top 5 would disrespect the man's memory. He was a fine actor and a fine man. And
he had a voice. A very instantly recognisable voice.
And he could wear the fuck out of a haircut.
Yeah.
He could, couldn't he? He was good at managing haircuts.
And also, he has one of the greatest lines of film history in Die Hard, when he says that Mr. Takagi cannot join us for the rest of his life.
That's true. Can you do a Rickman impression?
I'll try.
I look forward to it. See you next week.
Mr. Takagi will not be joining us for the rest of his life.
You sound like the guy, that's exactly the same as your impression when you were doing 10 minutes and counting. That was awful.
I can try again.
Can you?
Oh, ho, ho, I have, yeah, that does sound like the 10 minutes and counting.
Exactly, you've got one impression, every impression that you do. Do a Sean Connery. So, Miss Moneypenny.
Oh, Miss Moneypenny.
We have 10 minutes and counting.
10 minutes and counting before I have to leave.
Shocking. They've cast the wrong man there.
They did. If only I was born 40 years earlier.
Yeah, you could have got that part of the guy in Diamonds Are Forever.
What, the one who gets blown up by a birthday cake?
Or one of them two disgusting gays. No, not really, them guys are alright.
Please allow the world to hear yours.
Let me just get some water. I'm an actor, you see. If you want to hire me, please email pintsofviewpod@gmail.com. Subject, Chris the actor. He's got this really weird speech impediment that he can't do. Because the one that I always think of is when he's in one of them Potter films and he goes, "So, Potter." He does that weird thing where he overpronounces every word.
Now he's doing the Sean Connery impressions.
I know that was a little bit. It's because of the show, but he also does it in Die Hard when he goes, "Ho, ho, ho! Now I have a machine gun." He does that. He's got, honestly, if you listen to the guy, he's got a really underrated speech impediment. He does it in Love Actually when he goes, "I've been such a fool." Well, he sounds like static on the radio. Sounded. Now he's just white noise.
That was a shit film.
Yeah, terrible premise as well. It don't even make any sense.
No, this is radio.
Let's talk about other dead people on the subject. Lemmy, he died. Do you like Motorhead?
Who, sorry?
Lemmy.
I thought you said Lenin for a second.
No, come on. Mind out of the gutter, Gil.
NEPs. Yeah, he did die. Did you hear Triple H give the eulogy at his funeral or something?
He did. Triple H had to stand up in front of all these like serious rock stars and do a speech where he
What
presumably
did
said,
you-
"One time at WrestleMania, Lemmy done my music."
And I pointed at him.
Yeah, oh, it was brilliant, it was. And then later on, I done me moustache to look like his. Didn't keep it very long though, because fans didn't like it.
Is that when he got really fat?
You mean 2002 onwards?
Now that's...
If he listens to this, he'll hate that. He'll go and do 30 squats right now and tear a quad.
No, Chris Benoit's dead, so we can't do that again.
You had to bring old Benoit into it, who didn't even die this year, and neither did his family. Murder and homicide and suicide is never funny, alright?
Stay out of trouble.
Yes, exactly. But, like, speaking of trouble, like, we'll probably get in trouble for this. Do you ever wonder about how Lemmy got all them warts?
No.
I have. It looked like he was cursed by a witch.
Perhaps he was cursed by Alan Rickman as Severus Snape.
This is true. Imagine the crossover potential of dead people.
It's got to be bringing David Bowie into this.
David Bowie was the fucking Dwarf King or whatever in Labyrinth.
And Terry Wogan did the DVD commentaries.
And spent all his time with David Icke. More on that later. Yeah, like, Lemmy's warts are dead weird. Like, I sort of wanted to flick them. Or, like, push them and see if any pressure builds up. Like, because like, that's my big worry with warts. I've never had a wart in my life. So I sort of wonder, like, if you push it, does it get bigger? Like a button? So the worry is sort of like, at some point Lemmy's gone, like, you know in the mirror when you're like shaving, you try and look around and see what angles you're at. Obviously I don't, because I've got a glorious beard. But like, at some point, did he push them and they've expanded and it's never stopped?
Yeah, possibly. What he could have done is just pushed it from one side of his cheek and just gone to the other.
What, like Tom and Jerry? With the lump on his head. Lemmy got his warts. A mouse dropped an anvil on him, a tiny anvil, and each time he's pushed it, it's come up in a different place. Which is, when you look at Lemmy, he's never had consecutive wart photos. The consistency of warts on Lemmy's face was non-existent.
There's a lot that the 30s and 40s can teach us about medicine.
There is. Just lance it. That was a answer for everything, wasn't it? Lance it. Just tie a bit of string out of it. Tie a bit of string around it, it'll fall off. Tie a bit of string about it, and then tie the other end to a door, and it'll fall off when somebody slams it.
Lancing, leeches, and...
Dasher and Dancer and Blitzen.
Gas.
Yeah, and the rest of the Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
Done, Lemmy. What about Bowie?
No, I was not a massive fan of his, to be fair.
I thought he was alright, but it struck me that in the days following his death, well, in the hours following his death, really, people lost their collective shits a little bit too much, didn't they?
Yeah, there was so much shit that went up on social media.
Aye, right? Like, fucking, the worst one, and I sent you this in that email that you refused to open. Lady Gaga at the Grammys, which happened, like, last night before, like, done a tribute to Bowie, where she badly sung all of his songs. I've seen, like, pub impersonators do a better job.
To be fair, she looked more like a man than David Bowie did half his life, so...
She probably had a bigger knob.
Yeah.
But, like, oh, God, it was just, like, the whole thing was embarrassing, really. Like, it just, like, she was banging on and doing all these things, and it was like, we are overly critical of Americans on this programme, aren't we?
I'm lovely towards the Americans.
You in particular, Gil. Hate them guys.
Yeah, they're just loud and
Exactly.
ugly.
Well, this was her being loud about something like, and it really annoyed me. It's sort of like, do you know, like sometimes, like, I don't claim to be British or English or whatever. I don't really get into all that. But it seems weird, like something that's a bit of a throwback. I don't care about flags. National anthems are the weirdest thing in the world, aren't they? What's the point?
No, some of them are really good.
Like, yeah, but like, so are some Beatles songs. But I don't want to hear them before a sporting event. I just want to watch the sport. I turn up for sport, not music. When boxing's on, stop getting weird people in to sing the fucking American national anthem. It used to be that, like, you know, you could just hear an anthem and it's sort of like, oh, well, here's a 2-minute clip of a classical music song that you could care less about. That was fine. And then they started bringing in people like that fucking Jamie Foxx who done it before the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. And ruined it. It's sort of like, why have you ruined your own anthem? There's a set tune. Like, don't deviate from the tune. It's weird.
Well, he did do it, didn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that.
It really upset me. And I've just remembered it now, and I'm furious. It's not fucking about me national... Yeah. This is how Americans have started. National anthems have become more significant because it's like a competition of who can sing it in the weirdest way. It's like all Americans have got together and like agreed at birth, like who can sing our national anthem in the worst way, right? And nobody can fucking say anything because if they do, we'll claim they're anti-American and lynch them. So like, it annoys me, national anthems. It makes no sense. It makes so much no sense that I've lost my train of thought. What was the right David Bowie? Oh yeah, Lady Gaga done David Bowie. It upset me. Yanks, Americans, you know, stop appropriating British stuff.
Yeah.
It was like fucking, like, do you know what I mean? It's exactly like when Elton John dies, we're just going to like have to like listen to Americans going on about how influential he was in their culture. You know, Americans have got this like such weird celebrity culture. And if you are American and you're listening, I apologise. Like, you're probably great. And like, your culture is abhorrent to me.
It is.
You are about to elect Donald Trump as president. 1, he's got the worst haircut on earth. 2, he can't even take a stunner properly.
Did he get Stone Cold Stunner, did he?
Yeah, WrestleMania 22, I think it was. Took a stunner, didn't take it properly. Trump, drop to the knees. This is all I'm saying. Drop to the knees.
Was it worse than Linda McMahon's?
Yeah. He made Linda McMahon look like Harley Race. Oh, there's something that only 3 people listening will get. Amazing. So yeah, David Bowie died. It was sad. Like, at the end of the day, my big question is, was he just a guy that sung some songs once?
Yeah.
Exactly. Right, I feel like we covered Bowie pretty comprehensively without actually mentioning any of his music.
Oh yeah, he did sing a few songs, didn't he?
I mean, you know, just like cap it off like, right, Bowie was just like Madonna from the olden days, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Just some guy that found something that was cool, aped it a little bit, made it his own maybe, people copied it, and then it became shit, and everyone moved on, and that was just it. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be loads of people like that.
Yeah, it's called pop music.
Exactly. It's a lovely stuff, but let's stop getting so caught up in it, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
Stop typing while you're talking. We can hear that all picked up. I think the last guy that died in this like really weird sort of period of time to exist was Terry Wogan.
Yeah, I know a lot of people didn't like old Sir Wogs, but I didn't actually mind him at all, to be fair.
Who have you heard from that Terry Wogan's smug?
A couple of people I've known in my life don't like him. My dad knows.
I've always thought I thought he was like a national treasure, even though he's not even from our nation. He's from Ireland.
I don't know, to be honest.
He did that thing on Eurovision, didn't he? Where he was like always pretended he was like properly like British.
Yeah, he did actually. I think he got pissed all the time, didn't he?
Well, that was always his thing, wasn't it? Like, he got pissed, and now Graham Norton does the same thing. Like, you know, just because I guess that's what Wogan did. I always get pissed during Eurovision as well, because that's the only way you can fucking stand it.
Yeah.
To be honest, I do like it though. As I'm getting older and older, I do enjoy that show. It's like a variety. It's like a real throwback, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually quite good. It's got its moments anyway.
Let's stop beating about the bush. Do you remember that time when Terry Wogan interviewed David Icke?
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible, isn't it?
It's a phenomenal interview.
I've seen that, like, Wogan since apologise. Because, like, you know, to be fair to David Icke, which isn't a sentence any man should have to utter, he got a bit nasty, did Wogan?
He did arguably he did.
Not even arguably, like that bit when he was like, they're laughing at you, not with you. That's fucking, like, that was horrible, wasn't it? Like, he was saying some really mental things. It's like, you invited him on the show.
That's old Wogey for you, though.
But it was like, there's a video online, and I must admit, like, this is coming from a really like slender grasp of what's happened, because like I've only watched like 3 seconds of it, 'cause I got bored. But it was called Was Ike Right? And like apparently he was like claiming a number of things in that video that like since came true. I think like there was things like a major terrorist attack on American soil and things like that.
Perhaps he was right then. Perhaps old Wogey was wrong. Old Wogey the Fogey.
Is that what people call him?
That's what I've just called him.
So yeah, no. Was Ike right? No, he wasn't. There's that answered. Right, let's move on.
Short, simple, and sweet.
Yeah. Will you miss Terry Wogan? Because he hasn't really been on telly for years. Like, I said this to her indoors like a couple of days ago. I was talking about Terry Wogan, and it's like, you know, like how we know his voice in our heads and that,
Yeah.
and there's a million comics out there that dine out on impressions of Terry Wogan.
Yeah.
So, like, what are they going to do now? Because in a minute, all these kids are not even going to know who Terry Wogan was.
No. I mean, I think he was on Radio 2 towards the end of his career, wasn't he? So
He was, but like, you think that like a kid, let's just think like a kid who's primary school age now would have been born way after the millennium.
yeah, a lot longer after.
The oldest age of primary school was like 12, isn't it?
Yeah, 11, I think.
So exactly, that's like 2002, 2003. So like in terms of like their life, where they're able to remember people that are on telly and stuff, like they're not going to particularly pick him up. So like all these old motherfuckers that are doing impressions of Terry Wogan, they're going to be out of a job. That's the real tragedy here.
Well, they can just do them. I'm just trying to think of another fame. They can just change it and just say they're doing Dar O'Brien instead.
This is true, but he's half as interesting and also not funny, and I have no idea how he's got a job.
So no, somebody likes bold men, I guess.
I think it's that like television really likes oxymorons, and the idea of a smart Irishman. I'm joking. I know some of the smartest people in the world ever have been Irish people or something.
Maybe.
So yeah, that's it. Like, we've done that now. All them dead white men. Dead white men. History's made by dead white men, innit? Do you want to move on to the email section?
Yeah, you got a jingle for it.
Nope.
I'm going to sing one.
Please don't. I want to leave it
This
as
is the emails.
What?
That's it.
Was that it?
Yeah.
It was awful.
Email sent in to us from you.
Anyway, the questions are placed on the dove. So yeah, anyway. This is an email. It's from a guy called Dan, right? The only one. Oh, this is also the point of the show. I think we'll probably call this like social media corner or something. I wanted to thank the people that have like left reviews on iTunes. There is like HBomb123.
Hello, H-Bomb.
Yeah. He said 11 out of 10. Keep up the good work, guys. Can't wait for episode 3.
Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 3 and 4.
Well, indeed, and 5.
And 5.
If he's still listening, or she. Could be a she. You know. Sometimes women are into Nagasaki. The next one was by H1_buff, who said, I agree with the comment below, which is a lie because it was actually printed above. Fantastic work, guys. Fantastic work. Fantastic work, guys, and good to listen to people who mock DJs with loving the sound of their own voices. Don't stop soon. Well, now you've stumbled on the true intention of this. Cheers. Because like every time that I've mentioned that I love the sound of my own voice, that's exactly what I've been doing. I've been like mocking DJs subtly.
Obviously.
I also like the look of my own appearance.
Really?
Absolutely. Let's get onto that email then. So it's from a guy called Dan, right? And I've immediately taken a dislike to Dan because he starts the email, Dear Gil and Chris.
Oh, I like that. I like Dan.
I thought you might like Dan. I think you might like Dan for the exact reason. I think he's a cunt.
He obviously knows where the brains of this whole operation is.
Do you think that like he's listed it in terms of like he's getting the shit out of the way? Like he's like, well, I'll get rid of Gil and then I'll talk about the main event.
And if he's in a freak show.
That is rude and unnecessary and also hurtful and completely untrue. And I demand you say something nice about me now.
You've got a very shiny forehead.
This is true. I've been moisturising like there's no tomorrow. He says, sorry, Dan. Really enjoying the show so far. The reason for this email is because I was wondering what you both thought of the last series of Peep Show, in particular the last episode. Keep up the good work. Another one who wants us to keep up the good work. Dan. Doesn't say where he's from though. Although if he's referring to Peep Show, somewhere in the British Isles maybe.
Probably, yeah. It's probably where most of our downloads come from. I say most of them. 150 of them.
Well, yeah, you'd hope so, wouldn't you? Because that was like, you know.
Probably erroneous ones downloaded by Chinese people.
Hey guys, I love you.
Hurrah!
Oh no. Give us some money. Hey, did you know this actually? It was.
Ni hao. That's it. Ni hao.
I don't know how I know this, but it was actually Tibetan New Year. recently.
Ooh.
Really, it's called like Losar. I think it's called. It's spelt loser. Right, and apparently 2016. It was February the 9th. I don't know how I know this as well. Actually, I know I know this bit. I'm looking it up. But that first one I said, I didn't know how I knew. But like, yeah, anyway, so it was on February the 9th this year, and this is the year of the male fire monkey.
Ooh.
I know, it sounds exciting, doesn't it? It sounds, good.
Sounds like it's a bit rude, isn't it? A man shooting his bolt.
I don't know, like next year is like the female fire rooster. So maybe they've just not thought of many things. Like, they've just added fire to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly celebrated Tibetan New Year.
I did as well. I actually thought it was the year of the female firefly.
No. Did you? Oh, you idiot. What did you do for Tibetan New Year?
I walked up some mountains.
Yep.
Met a few monks.
Okay.
And tried to set it free.
Yeah. Well, similarly, I broke into a Chinese takeaway and refused to leave to see how they fucking liked it. Sorry, back to Dan's email. Poor Dan. Did you watch the whole last series of Peep Show?
I did.
What do you think of it? It was good, wasn't it?
What happened the last episode again? Oh yeah, what's his face left him, didn't he? Jez's boyfriend left him, and Mark.
Well, like, as in all series of Peep Show, everyone left them. That was it, wasn't it?
I thought it was better than a lot of the more recent series because it was, like with anything, they obviously put a lot of effort into the last series.
I thought it was the best series they've done in forever. Please stop tapping your fingers on that mouse.
It's my lighter, actually.
Oh, was it? Oh, stop that. Like, yeah, I thought it was the best one. Like, it reminded me of, the one where Jez shags Sophie's mum at the wedding.
I am James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. This is obviously something that keeps coming up, but like, I really liked that. I feel like that was the point when it started to go downhill because that was really funny. And then after that, I thought, well, this is all right.
Yeah, that was series 4. I would say the first 4 series were really good and just completely went off the sharp end after that.
Yeah, I mean, this last series reminded me of early Peep Show, and it took them about 3 years to write it.
You can tell that some good writing has gone into a lot of the episodes. I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the first 4 series, but it ended well.
Well, things really are. I mean, you referenced Frasier earlier on, didn't you? And I've still got that last series to come, where do you ever get it like when a sitcom comes to an end? Do you get that sort of like empty feeling inside you, where it's like Shooting Stars, when they stopped making that the first time, and it was clear there wasn't going to be a new series. I just sort of pined for it a bit.
If it's good, yes, you do get that. If it's shit, then you just think, like when The Simpsons ends, I won't.
Yeah. In my head, The Simpsons has already ended. I've not watched it properly forever.
No, fair one.
It's always on at like fucking tea time on Sky One. So if it's on, I'll catch it. But I'm not like religiously watching it.
No, not at all. You can get one on the internet anyway, or get them cheaply on Netflix.
Of course. I mean, with Peep Show in particular, though, I was sad it ended, but it sort of seemed like the right thing. And I think that they did the ending that they did, where everyone had left, and it was just Jez and Mark in a flat again on their own, and it was implied that this is just going to keep happening forever and ever and ever. I was fine with that.
Yeah, I think it ended quite well because they are quite tragic people, and obviously Mark gets sacked from the bank because of Jez.
Yeah, that was it was kind of a rehash of old ideas a little bit, wasn't it? But in a good way.
But it worked because everyone else is happy except for them two, and they'll never be happy because of each other, but they won't be able to live without each other.
Now I think of it, it kind of reminds me of the last episode of Father Ted.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Where they explicitly say this is going to keep happening forever and ever and ever. And I think that's the only way you can really end a sitcom in it. It's like last time me in particular, we laid into Only Fools and Horses for never ending. For never being able to let it go.
Until Matey Boy died.
I think that in answer to Dan's question, I enjoyed the last series. It wasn't a patch on what it was, but it was better than what it has been.
Yeah, and it ended it very nicely.
It also ended it absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for your email, Dan. I enjoyed it. I thought they ended it well. I hope to fucking God that they never touch it again.
No, I think you've covered everything I need to say there as well.
Good.
Likewise.
All right then, shall we wrap up?
I think we should. I'm getting tired.
Me too. Let's just do the things. For everything that we referenced, talked about, go to pintsofviewpodcast.wordpress.com. It's decent. I put on a load of stuff there. I spend my time doing it right after I've edited it because it matters to me that when you listen to a podcast, you can refer to what we're talking about. You can pause it and listen to it. I'll put a link to it in the iTunes screen as well. All you need to do is tap the screen. Send us an email like what Dan did. That is to pintsofviewpod. Is it pintsofviewpod@gmail.com? Yeah, pintsofviewpod@gmail.com. Or alternatively, just go to the website, find the link on there, leave a comment, do whatever you want. Go to iTunes, rate, review, and subscribe, and go fuck yourselves. Gil, anything else to add?
Not really. I think you've pretty much summed everything I'm going to say. Go to pintsofview@podcast.com. Email word@press.com with the pints. And follow the Twitter handle, which is pintsofview@twitter.com.
Terrible.
I think I've got all that in the right order.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, say goodbye.
Goodbye, people. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. Bye, I love you. And we're back.
Ooh. It's got me mid-yawn.
How does it start, the Vince McMahon theme tune?
No chance.
Does it go? I'll just do the like that bit. You do the.
No chance. That's what you've got. Some are saying too strong. Greedy politicians buying social muscle. What fine and basic line. There's something that I don't know the words to. And something else. But you've got no chance. No chance in hell. No chance.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along. Hell, you can kiss my ass.
You're fired.